Third principle: context counts. Every person is unique, with their own set of skills, preferences for work style, career goals, and learning styles. Every team is unique, too, because it faces unique situations. Our organization is also unique, even when there are other organizations that operate in the same marketplace that we do. These observations lead us to a critical idea that our process and organization structure must be tailored for the situation that we currently face. In other words, context counts. This figure shows that there are several context factors that affect how a team chooses its way of working. The factors are organized into two categories: factors which have a significant impact on our choice of life cycle and factors that motivate our choice of practices. The practice selection factors are a superset of the life cycle selection factors. For example, a team of 8 people working in a common team room on a very complex domain problem in a life-critical regulatory situation will organize themselves differently, and will choose to follow different practices, than a team of 50 people spread out across a corporate campus on a complex problem in a non-regulatory situation. Although these two teams could be working for the same company, they could choose to work in very different ways. There are several interesting implications of this figure. First, the further to the right on each selection factor, the greater the risk faced by a team. For example, it's much riskier to outsource than it is to build our own internal team. A team with a lower set of skills is a riskier proposition than a highly skilled team. A large team is a much riskier proposition than a small team. A life-critical regulatory situation is much riskier than a financial critical situation, which in turn is riskier than facing no regulations at all. Second, because teams in different situations will need to choose to work in a manner that is appropriate for the situation that they face, to help them tailor their approach effectively, we need to give them choices. Third, anyone interacting with multiple teams needs to be flexible enough to work with each of those teams appropriately. For example, we will govern that small, collocated, life-critical team differently than the medium-sized team spread across the campus. Similarly, an enterprise architect who is supporting both teams will collaborate differently with each. Fourth principle: be pragmatic. Many Agilists are quite fanatical about following specific methods strictly. There are many people who say that to do Agile right, we need to have 5 to 9 people in a room, with the product owner present at all times. The team should not be disturbed by people outside the team and should be 100% dedicated to the project. However, in many established enterprises, such ideal conditions rarely exist. The reality is that we have to deal with many suboptimal situations, such as distributed teams, large team sizes, outsourcing, multiple team coordination, and part-time availability of stakeholders. Disciplined Agile recognizes these realities, and rather than saying we can't be agile in these situations, we instead say, let's be pragmatic and aim to be as effective as we can be. Instead of prescribing best practices, disciplined Agile provides strategies for maximizing the benefits of Agile despite certain necessary compromises being made.